everyone. Welcome to MedStack podcast. I'm Balaji Gopalan. I'm very pleased to have with me today Kaushik from RiskAverse Health. This is a company that I've been paying some attention to for the past several months. I'm really fascinated by what they do, and especially how you've created your company from research. And I think that's really interesting. People who know me know that I like to tell the story that one of the most applicable and important avenues of the role of digital health in today's world is addressing chronic conditions, especially long-term conditions that are driven by behavior. And this is what Kaushik is working on. So Kaushik, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Balaji. Excited to be on here.
So tell everybody about RiskAverse Health, the space you guys are in, and what you're trying to do.
Yeah. So in short, RiskAverse is basically the solution, as Balaji just pointed out, that looks to identify high-risk individuals, but also directs them to the appropriate level of care in a timely manner. And the ultimate goal is to prevent the progression of the disease, but also tell members or patients that they have access to some of these services that they may have not known about. So like specifically what we do is we provide these very unique assessments that are focused more so on social determinants of health, lifestyle, and behavioral factors to identify an individual's risk for an acute or chronic condition. And then once they finish one of the assessments, we basically will risk stratify them through our algorithm, but also tell them that this specific program is best suited for their lifestyle factors. So we try to navigate them to those programs and try to make it very consumer centric, where they have all the power to do so themselves and self-direct themselves.
Very, very cool. Are there particular conditions you guys are focused on at the outset?
Yeah, so we now have several assessments specifically focused, again, more so on the major cancers as well as diseases, chronic diseases, but also have mental health. So, for example, we do have colorectal cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer, as well as diabetes and kidney disease, but also have added in substance use, anxiety, depression. And the big goal there is with a lot of these conditions, we did do a lot of research on NCBI, PubMed to figure out all the significant risk factors. There is a lot of unknowns as well. So by continuing to have individuals go through these assessments, we're able to see different trends that may form over time. But also it allows us to have a greater impact in terms of really filtering down that specific benefit program or care management program that's best suited for that individual within their health plan services.
Right. Yeah. So that's a part that I think is most interesting and fascinating about what you guys do. And you know, I've done a probably not fantastic job of talking about your company to lots of people because I'm really interested in what you do. But how are you figuring these causalities and algorithms out? So you're surveying the patient to identify some of their behavioral patterns, lifestyle patterns, and then you're saying, well, if you're worried about this specific condition or you're at risk of this specific condition, here's the program we recommend.
Yeah.
That kind of matching is the magic in what you do. And how have you guys built that out?
Absolutely. So this kind of dives into the big problem that we're solving for within the health plan space, and specifically with Medicare Advantage. They are very fast adopters, but it seems like many of them still use kind of that like one size fits all assessment, as well as from the member's perspective, it's just a very convoluted process. They'll go through the assessment, they'll get to the end, but they hit a static report page where then they have to deal with call centers and they have to be put on hold for 20, 30 minutes and then ultimately can drop off before they even enroll or even engage in that program. So what we've done through our platform is we use these assessments to collect information on the member and make sure it's very apparent for them that this helps us figure out that tailored recommendation. And then when they get to the dashboard, that's when we work with each health plan to figure out on a rules-based system what program is best suited for that member. So if I'm high risk for diabetes, I smoke every day, but I also exercise every day. And Health Plan A says, okay, out of all our diabetes management programs, this is the perfect point solution for that type of member. We'll put a call to action button there. And then within 3 clicks, try to make it as seamless as possible. We want the member to be able to direct themselves to that program and get that first meeting set up.
Yeah. Really, really interesting. The other aspect that I think is really neat is you figured out this kind of medical algorithm that you're using, but your go-to-market strategy. So who are your stakeholders in rolling out this product and why them?
Yeah, so specifically, we're looking really at the Medicare Advantage space in terms of the big target for us. We believe that they're very fast adopters, but also they utilize care management programs very well as different point solutions. And basically, it was through Medicare Advantage as well as Medicaid's on our radar in terms of who to target. With Medicare Advantage specifically, I think with them, we were able to get in contact with many stakeholders at some of these plans and really discuss how our solution can be differentiated, but also really hone in on the fact that many of these members don't utilize the services because they have no idea that they're covered by them or they have access to them.
Yeah.
So I think that's really where we kind of stuck on Medicare Advantage. That being said, we also are exploring Medicaid. And then down the line, I think with many companies, commercial is always an option. But specifically with the initial two, it's definitely in the front before the commercial realm for us.
Very cool. Very cool. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you come into this problem space and what inspired you to pursue it?
Yeah, so I actually went to Boston College, graduated for undergrad there, and had intentions to go to med school. So while I was taking a few gap years, I was working at institutions such as Dana-Farber and Beth Israel, where I was shadowing a pancreatic cancer surgeon specifically. And I was focused more on the predictive analytics side. So was always fascinated by how can we extend the 5-year survival rate, but also how can we identify them in terms of their symptoms earlier. With pancreatic cancer, a lot of those cases are diagnosed very late stage. And while observing them, I actually had a family member who was diagnosed at late stage for a chronic condition. And that led my thinking to more of the preventative side, but specifically for asymptomatic conditions. So that led to risk factors. And that's when we started to hone in on what became a hot word in terms of social determinants of health, as well as kind of data mining, just knowing the knowledge I had at that time. And ultimately, I'm working with two co-founders, myself, Mike Lloyd, as well as Zach Sadlier, who are both our chief product officer as well as chief technology officer, respectively. And all of us have personal drivers, but also we withdrew our acceptances into postgraduate school. So definitely fully dedicated to this. And over the past year, we've all been able to work together and we're residing in the Boston area now. That's
fantastic. Lastly, again, for our audience, this is a company that I just personally happen to be really fascinated with, just in terms of the messaging of MedStack, but also, personally, we have chronic conditions in my family. And I think this kind of approach, data-driven approach, integrating with the way people live their lives with care plans and those kinds of things, both here and in the US, is really interesting to me. Where can people learn more about RiskAverse Health, and what do you want everybody to know about where you guys are right now?
Yeah, so in terms of just where you can find us at riskaversehealth.com. Also, we're active on all social media channels, specifically with Instagram and LinkedIn, where we're posting 2 times a week there, posting kind of health awareness facts, as well as how you can live a healthy life with posts, with blog posts. In terms of where we're at right now, we do have a few pilots going with different social service organizations, nonprofits, but also are working with a few at-risk provider groups. I think from our mindset, it's always great to expand the different amount of Medicare Advantage, Medicaid, or even just overall health plans that we're in contact with. So I guess that's kind of the big ask on our end is if you would be interested in connecting, definitely feel free to reach out. And we're very active on LinkedIn.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much. Thanks for the work that you do, Kaushik. It's really important. Very excited about hearing about your progress as a company and looking forward to keeping in touch.
Perfect. Thank you, Balaji.
Thanks a lot. Take care.